After the disagreement between the senior skill players, now we went on ahead, and Marcus Reeves was the starting quarterback. Um, First game of the season. Give us your insights on that game, and how did you come out against Kokomo?
Senior season, you know, first game, first step of my mission. I decided, I'm I'm gonna go crazy today. It was a Saturday game, so we kind of got to go. We drove around and watched the different high schools play on that Friday night, and I was hyped for that Saturday game. I came out, I had 11 catches, and it was just like 7 on 7 again. I mean, as long as you throwing it to me, I feel like I'm gonna be open. I'm gonna make plays. I had my first fumble of my life that game. Took a hard hit on a slant. That was disappointing, but we made a lot of mistakes. We had like 6 or 7 turnovers that game, and we lost. But I don't know, man. Like I just didn't. I ain't gonna say I didn't care about the loss, but like I said, my whole thoughts was different. My goals were different after that one.
Now let's go into play for the rest of the season as far as your stats. Let's touch on that first, and then we'll comment on other stuff. After having 11 catches, you finished the season with 30 catches. What happened, and what's your thoughts on that?
Coach makes a bad decision. The ball wouldn't even coming my way no more. It would be every now and then. I think, and this would even make it worse. I caught 7 against Lake Central, so that's 18 catches in 2 games. I remember we had, I mean, a lot of teams where we could have had big numbers, we was pulled out. I mean, we didn't play a lot of any game. Most games we played the first half that we won, and we were pulled out second half. And I feel like we seniors, we should be on the field at least for 3 quarters. Let us get some statistics. Um, and one game, coach decided that he was gonna run the ball every play, and he told us that. So, I mean, it wasn't the fact that I wasn't open. I just wasn't getting the balls thrown my way.
Why is that though? I mean,
We had a lot of talent. I mean, I wasn't needed like that for us to win, but
but you went from having 11 catches in the first game of the season, 11 catches, and I witnessed them catches, man. You was making big plays, to having 30 for the rest of the season. Why do you think? Why? Why?
I mean, we could just only could run the plays this called. So I mean, I was out there blocking a lot, and we kind of went away from the passing game. Mike was making catches. I think Mike had over 28 catches. PJ had over like 26 catches. Carl had 25, 24 catches, and Austin was right there in that 25, 24. I mean, so everybody was just touching the ball. We started spreading it around.
Was it tough dealing with that emotionally? Because as we all want to go to school on scholarship, and one of the opportunities to go to school on scholarship is be able to have some numbers. What did that do to you emotionally as a fan of the game?
And that was a hard time for me because they kept telling me, man, you 6'5", you got a 40-inch vertical jump. It don't matter about your numbers. You still gonna go to the Michigans, the Michigan State, Purdue. You still gonna get all that. So, like I say, man, Coach is maybe one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life, but at the time he was a bad coach. And like the schools went like, we don't care that he's 6'5", he got a 40-inch. He caught 11 that first game to see if he can do that, and I could have did that every week. I think I could have had some better weeks than 11 catches. Um, but maybe we was a better team without me doing 11. I don't know if he took it because of the score of that game, but we was driving all the time. We just kept turning the ball over that game, and I had 11 catches. So I wouldn't say that was an ineffective, way to go with me being the #1 option. But we went away from that.
Okay. Now that team finished 5-5. Let's kind of go into play on the game against Valparaiso.
Valparaiso, man, was like, I ain't never been so focused in my life. We had Gary Roosevelt, first rounder. Was that Roosevelt? We knew we was going to blow them out. That's another game. It was the playoffs. We only played one half. So I think that was 4 games that we played one half of football senior season.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 8 quarters of stats that we left out there that we could have got. So them 30 could have been 50. So off them 8 catches, 8 quarters. But we kind of I ain't never been more focused in my life. Like I say, even though we had disagreements, I love my teammates. My cousin Mike Florence, we've been together since we was crawling. We was on that same team. Cousin was a 3-year starter, but he was undersized, and I knew he probably wouldn't get that shot to play Division I football like I did. So I never wanted. We've been playing football together since we could pick up a football. So I didn't want it to ever end with me and him being on the football field together. So I was so focused. I remember for the game, probably like 4 hours before the game, we used to usually go eat. I ain't even go eat. I sat at coach office and I was throwing the football off the wall hard as I can and just catching it. And just catching it. I mean, just because I knew it was a chance that we could lose that game, but I said I ain't gonna let it happen. Remember Coach Monroe came there and told me sometimes you can get too ready, and I kind of like laughed at him and didn't even say nothing. Just kept throwing it off the wall. I mean, I ain't never played so angry and so focused in my life. That was a big game for us.
What happened?
And we went out there and we played well offensively. I mean, it was to the point where one more touchdown and we was getting ready to not play the second half again. So going into the end of the second quarter, one of our corners bid on a double move. Like, I think it was like 4th and some, but the clock was about to run out, and he had no safety help over top, and he got scored on. So it kind of made it a little closer going into halftime.
Okay. They come out now. Let's go into the second half of that game. What happened?
Second half of that game, I beat myself up about, still to this day sometimes. We, not to knock nobody on my team, but we didn't have the best talent on the field on defense. I think that me and Marcus should have been playing safety. And when I saw, the things that was going on that was keeping them in the game, it was more or less the safeties, not making plays. In the summertime, we were doing 7-on-7. Our main A team that didn't lose a game in 2 years, me and Marcus played safety. But when the season started, the guys who was on the B team playing safety was our starting safeties. So going to the second half, I almost feel like I wanted to go to the coach and say, Coach, man, let me and Marcus play safety. So, I mean,
why didn't you?
We kind of was scared of Coach. I mean, we went with whatever Coach said. We never took nothing personal. We was a real professional team. We didn't challenge Coach. We never challenged him. We never said, Coach, I don't like what you're doing. But even though we was thinking it, we didn't say nothing. So kind of just sat back and bit my lip, man, and kept watching them guys get beat for touchdowns.
Now that your senior team blew a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. I'm sorry, an 18-point lead in the fourth quarter and lost by 3 points. Give us your emotions losing that game, knowing that you'll never play on East Chicago Central football field again.
And I went off. They wrote about it in the newspaper. I went off so bad. And it was just like a mix of everything, from the injuries to the meetings to not transferring. I feel like, how did I stay at this school to not win state? Not to even make it out of the sections. I threw my helmet in the crowd. I kicked. I apologize to everybody for what I did. I kicked yard markers in the crowd. I was in the locker room cussing, throwing my helmet. Parents was in the locker room. My mom had to cover me up. How many times trying to take pictures of me crying on the field. And my cousin walked up to me and told me, he said, "Cuz, we gonna never play football together again." That was rough.